following Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam day and night with him, except sometimes when Rasulullah wants to be with his holy family or to be resting, they used to wait also for him, or if they have anything to do, they used to go to finish their work and to come again quickly to be meeting Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allah Almighty ordering them every time when they are meeting Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to address him by salat wa salam. And so they used to always, even hundreds and hundreds of times every day, to try to see the face, holy face of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and to tell him, Assalamu alayka ayyuhan nabiy wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And Allah Almighty making in As-Salam to say the Assalamu alaykum for Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. No one can know the good tidings and blessings which Allah Almighty descend over the one who gives salat wa salam on Rasulullah, or he address Rasulullah by always Assalamu alayka ayyuhan nabiy wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And then after Rasulullah passed away, they used to be always busy by sitting facing the grave of Rasulullah and giving salam to Rasulullah. As they used to deal with him when he was in his physical state, the same they were dealing with him when he was in his spiritual state. And they used to give Assalamu alayka ayyuhan nabiy wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And Allah Almighty make it obligatory in all children of Adam alayhi salam, especially the nation of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. In every prayer, the prayer cannot be completed until every between two rak'at to address Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam by salam, Assalamu alayka ayyuhan nabiy wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And for this, every time you must see Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam facing you. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is in front of you, facing you, and you must give him at least 5 times the prayers with the sunnah between every 2 rak'at to address him by as-salam. And also to give at-tahiyyat for Allah Almighty, to see also that Allah Almighty facing you, because Allah Almighty saying, however you turn your face in any moment or any second, my face is facing all of you. Allah Almighty is not far away from anyone. Allah Almighty is with everyone, facing everyone, and everyone facing Allah Almighty. And for this, to build up your spirituality, to build up your hearts, to build yourself, to be a house for Allah Almighty, to representing Allah Almighty, to be Khalif for Allah Almighty. Allah Almighty to dress you by divinely knowledge, by divinely secrets. Allah Almighty to dress you by His lights, by His greatest name. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to dress you all the time by His lights, and to be always accompanied with His spirituality. Because they are facing you and you are facing them, and they are seeing whatever going inside you, especially in your mind, in your heart, in your conscience. They know your niyyah, your intention, they know everything. You can hide yourself from people, but you cannot hide yourself from Allah Almighty, neither from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They are ones all the time whom they are running the life inside you, and they are the one who created all your deeds as they created you, Allah Almighty. And for this, don't think that Allah Almighty doesn't know what's going on in everyone, and Allah Almighty will be rewarding and blessing everyone according to what He is running inside him. Allah Almighty will look all the time His eyes over His servant or His created one, male or female, man or woman, Allah Almighty looking in every second to second, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam second to second. What is going in your mind, in your heart? What is your intention? What is your niyyah? And for this they will be blessing you, or upgrading you, or bless you by spiritualities, or by divine knowledge, or divine lights, or accepting you and fulfilling all what you are asking or not, according to what is in your mind and in your heart. And no one knows except you and Allah Almighty, except you and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is something between the one and between Allah Almighty, His creator. No one knows what's going on inside the one other than Him and Allah Almighty. And for this, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam refers to teach the Sahaba how to correct their beliefs, how to correct their intentions, how to make all the time their intention to be in sincerity with Allah Almighty, sincerity with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to be always in sincerity with all creation of Allah Almighty, until they will be already well corrected their intentions, correcting their hearts, that nothing to enter in their mind except love of Allah Almighty, love of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, love of Akhirah, and nothing to be in their mind or in their hearts, love of this dunya, of this life, or to be hating each other, or to be enmity in their heart to each other, or to be changing the law and the teaching of Allah Almighty even by their intention, or to be following satanic inspiration coming to them, and to do what Allah Almighty and Rasulullah didn't order them to do it, and they say we are inspired to do so and so. And for this Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to change the Sahaba from a worshipper of statues and hating each other, killing each other, to be Sahaba of Rasulullah, companion of Rasulullah. If anyone mentioned, you must, Allah ordering and Rasulullah to say, for this Sahaba, whenever his name is mentioned, radiyallahu anhu, because already Allah Almighty blessed them by salam, by blessing. Allah Almighty is accepting them and pleased from them, because they were totally taking off all their inner, in their mind and in their heart, which is against the will of Allah Almighty, or which is against the will of Rasulullah, and changing themselves to be following totally their spiritual life and their physical life to be according to what please Allah Almighty and please Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and never they search to please their desires, their egos, their satanic world, or to please this life which they are living in it. And for this, to correct the beliefs, to correct the intention, this is the worshipping of the mind, the worshipping of the heart. The worshipping of the physical body is to pray, to pray the 5 prayers, to pray the sunnahs, to make zikrullah, to make salat wa salam on Rasulullah, to read Holy Quran, to recite Holy Quran. All this physical body worshipping. What is the worshipping of the mind? What is the worshipping of the heart? As you have worshipping for your physical body, there is also worshipping for the mind. There is worshipping for the heart. Worshipping of the mind is to correct all your thoughts from satanic thoughts, from bad thoughts related to Allah Almighty, or to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or to awliyaullah, and also whatever thoughts coming related to all creation, to all whom they are in brotherhood or sisterhood in humanity for you. And the worshipping of the hearts is to correct all what entering and coming out of your heart, correcting the intention of your heart, always to make no one except Allah Almighty to enter your heart, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and awliyaullah. Not to make at all in your heart to be anyone loving your heart in duality with Allah Almighty, taking anyone other than Allah Almighty and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to be in your heart, and to correct your heart that to be all the time busy by connecting himself with Allah Almighty, with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And for this the Sahaba, most of them, starting from Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiyallahu anhu, to all Sahaba, they used to put stones in their mouth to keep their tongue even, and their mouth not to be opening in any words to talk anything. This stone will remember them. Be careful, Allah is facing you, watching you. Rasulullah facing you, watching you. Be busy only how to correct yourself, how to correct your mind, how to correct your heart. And the correcting of the heart is by making the heart busy with Allah Almighty, busy with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. No one to enter to your heart, no love of anyone except love of Allah Almighty, love of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Don't make your house to be affected by anything of what is going around you. Only make your house to be always affected by either Allah Almighty descending over it blessing and lights, or Allah descending over it curses. When you make shaitan, devil, Satan to enter your house, when you make your egos, your nafs to enter your house, then cursing will be coming over your house. And never Allah Almighty will be building your house, and your house to be a house of Allah Almighty. No one can build the house to be a house for Allah Almighty except the one who created it, except Allah Almighty. And for this Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was the guidance, the Imam, who can connect everyone, connect every heart of everyone with Allah Almighty all the time. No one else can connect the heart except Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Even awliyaullah cannot connect your house with Allah Almighty. Only they can try their best to clean and clean and clean your house by this kind of rabit or connection with them. To clean your house, they clean your house, they help you to clean your house, so that the house will be able to be connected, or they will be connecting your house with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Only what that's the job of awliya. They cannot do more than this. Then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, for all the prophets, for all the human beings, for all the creation, he is the only and only one authorized by Allah Almighty to connect the house of everyone with Allah Almighty, and Allah Almighty, for sake of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he will build up your house to be a house for him, to be a Kaaba for him, to settle his lights, to settle his throne, to settle his greatest name. And then you will be a secret of Allah Almighty walking and living on this earth. Otherwise, how much you pray, how much you make dhikr, how much you make salute, how much you make seclusion, and never you are correcting your beliefs, never correcting your intentions, never you correcting your house to be always only for Allah Almighty and for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, no one, even awliya, can help you. Allah Almighty only the one to help everyone. Allah Almighty appointed Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam as a one between us and between Allah Almighty, because Rasulullah, he represents Allah Almighty in all his creations. He represents Allah Almighty in all the manifestation and lights which Allah created. All of them, they are connected with the divine presence of La ilaha illallah by what? By Muhammadun Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If your heart is well corrected and you are correcting your intention, will come the time to correct your mind. Your mind must be corrected. Any thoughts coming to your mind, you say La hawla wa la quwwata illa billahi al-ali al-azim. Quickly to chase out any kind of thoughts will come to your mind, especially in prayer, to chase them out, never to be following the thoughts, never to take them as a real advice or inspiration from Allah Almighty, but they are inspiration from Shaitan, from your satanic world, from your egoistic world. They are playing with you to make you lose the way to the divine presence of Allah Almighty and Rasulullah. And they are the mind either making the heart to be loving Allah Almighty and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and awliyaullah and all creations, or the mind will make your heart to be hating Allah Almighty, far away from Allah Almighty, far away from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, far away from awliyaullah, far away from awliyaullah. And you will be then hated by all people around you. No one then will be connecting himself or like to be in your friendship or to be with you, but all they will run away from you. And for this, the awliyaullah, all of them, neither no one of them is like to be sitting between people. All the time they are running from people. They are running from creation. They want to spend every breath of them, every minute, every second of their life only to be devoted for Allah Almighty and Rasulullah, and to be well connected with Allah Almighty and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and not to be connected with all whom Allah created them. And to help your heart and your mind to be with Allah Almighty, with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, first of all, you must help the heart, you must help the mind always to make them not full with food, not full with any desires which you are wishing to do. Anything you like, leave it. Anything you like to eat it, leave it. Anything you like to drink it, leave it. Anything you like it, don't approach to it. Always do opposite to your egos, opposite to what they said. Shaitan giving you from thoughts and giving you from bad advice. Never the egos, nafs or shaitan will advise you to be a good member in the divine presence of Allah Almighty and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And for this, the one who always listens to his nafs, to his ego, the one who listens to his satanic and devil inside him, to his qarin, he will say, I am inspired to do so and so, but really it is all imagination, make him to be far and far away from Allah Almighty and Rasulullah. And the one who always following the teaching and the law of Allah Almighty, teaching and law of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allah Almighty will bless him to be an awliya to him, to be a true one, to be a sincere one, to be a sadiq, to be a siddiq. Allah will choose him. And then Allah will announce, O Jibreel, announce in heavens and earths and universes that Allah Almighty loves this one, loves him. And then without any promotion or advertisement or Facebook or Instagram or anything, no one knows, without feeling, you will feel you are loving that one. Why you are loving him? Because Allah Almighty loves him and announced everyone to love him. And the same for the one who is always listening to his mind, listening to his thoughts, listening to his heart, listening to his bad thoughts, to satanic inspiration coming to him, Allah will curse him and he will announce, or he will announce that I hate this one, all creation hate him, and he will be hated. And for this you see all the Sahaba of Rasulullah, when their name mentioned, all people they say radiyallahu anhum wa ardahum. When Fir'aun, Abu Jahl, Shaitan mentioned their name, all they say, curse on them, la'anallah, la'anahumullah. These are curses whenever the name mentioned, and these are well blessed by all people when their names is mentioned, the Sahaba of Rasulullah. And like this, the one must be a one whom his name is mentioned between anyone, to be everyone blessing him by blessing, then he is really close to Allah Almighty, and Allah loving him, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he is loving them. And whenever a name mentioned and the people cursing and showing no love to him, then mean Allah doesn't love him, neither Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He is under the curse of Allah Almighty, under the curse of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And for this, always as the physical body need to eat and drink, and the physical body need to be worshipping Allah Almighty by prayers and all things which Rasulullah according to Sharia order us to do, the same the soul, the mind, the heart also have their own worshipping. And the worshipping of the soul, the worshipping of the heart, the worshipping of the mind is to correct your beliefs, to correct your intention, to correct your thoughts, always to fight whatever coming badly on your mind and thoughts, to shake them out and to convert them to be always in the right way, good thoughts, not bad thoughts, even in anyone. Even the other one is very bad. Even you are seeing him committing sins and making badness, you are not appointed to question him or to balance him. Only Allah Almighty will question and balance. Always keep good intention for him. Say Allah send for him hidayah, guidance. And the same for the heart, whenever anything else than Allah Almighty or Rasulullah want to enter to your house, quickly chase out and be a keeper for your heart. No one to enter to it except Allah Almighty and Rasulullah. This is the worshipping of the heart, this is the worshipping of the mind, this is the worshipping of the soul. Until Allah Almighty will make your mind, your hearts to be like Kaaba. Then the Kaaba will be obliged to come and make tawaf around you. No need for you to go and to make tawaf around Kaaba. Every 24-hour Kaaba will come and make tawaf around you. And the soul will be like the black stone that everyone is need to be connected and to be kissing that soul of that one whom Allah dressed his mind and house to be Kaaba, house of Allah Almighty. And the soul will be in the corner of the door of Allah Almighty in your heart, to be blessed and to be everyone kissing it and to take barakah of it, because it is the keeper of your trust, amana, which Allah dressed to your heart as a house of Allah Almighty. And like this, the worshipping of the mind, like this, the worshipping of the heart, and the same, the worshipping of the physical body. Everyone knows it, no one needs to teach you about it. Already in Sharia, everyone knows how to pray, how to fast, how to give zakah, how to be always following Allah Almighty and Rasulullah, but the physical body. But the physical body, all of them depending on the mind and on the heart. If your mind and your heart is well perfected and well clean, then all these worshipping will be accepted by Allah Almighty. And if the heart and the mind is full with waste, unclean, and not try to clean it, then all this worshipping of your physical body will be thrown over your face, and Allah say, I am not accepting that. 2,000 years, Iblis, Satan, was in his physical world, worshipping Allah Almighty, praying, making sujood in heaven, in earths, in all universes, his power to go over all universes, all galaxies, all stars, and never leaving one footstep except making sujood to Allah Almighty. From Allah created him till Allah cursed him. But he was not interested in correcting his heart. He was not interested in correcting his mind. And they are full with jealousy and hatred to all creations, to all malaika. And he wanted to be the famous one only. And he was for all. And he was waiting that Allah Almighty is going to appoint him to be the head and the boss of all of them. All at a sudden, Allah Almighty created Adam alayhi salam and perfected him and blessed him from his soul, Allah Almighty, and make all of them to be under the kingship of Sayyidina Adam alayhi salam, and order them to make sujood, and the famous one, all at a sudden, without any warning or alerting from Allah Almighty that I am going to create a one who is going to lead all of you, to be the Lord of all of you. He created Adam and he ordered them, make sujood to him and follow him. All they did, except Shaitan, who was not interested in correcting his beliefs, not correcting his heart, not correcting his mind, and not interested in it, and was full with proudness and famosity and full with selfishness, that he refused the order of Allah Almighty to make sujood to Adam alayhi salam. What happened to all his worshipping? Cursed. What happened to him? Cursed. What happened to his heart? Cursed. What happened to his mind? Cursed. What happened to him till day of the Yawm al-Qiyamah judgment? Anytime anyone mentions his name, he will curse him. And now we are in the last time of this dunya, of this earth. We are at the last time before day of judgment. And so now all 99.99% of all creation, all of them except the awliya, but all the other than awliya, even the maris of awliya, even the ones related to awliya, and all people in this earth except awliya Allah, all they are trying their best to please Shaitan, to please their desires, to please their egos, and to be far away from correcting their hearts and their mind and their intention, and therefore this far away from Allah Almighty and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and Allah Almighty sending all this punishment over them. And some of them, they try to correct themselves, but no one is meeting a real awliya nowadays. All the awliya, they are hidden one. They are only meeting claimed awliya, much more worse than the people following their hearts and desires, following themselves by all the prosperity and pleasure of this life, making themselves to be full with all which Allah Almighty say, don't do it or approach it. They are making themselves to be dressed well, that themselves, they are far away from Allah Almighty and Rasulullah, and themselves, they cannot save themselves. How to be saving the one who is connecting with them or following them. May Allah forgive us and mercy us. إلى شرف النبي سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وآله وصحبه حضرة أستاذنا وأستاذ الإسلام الصديقيون لله تعالى الفاتحة. الله